my fellow mobile gamers. In today's video, we are talking about whether it is more important to focus first on upgrading your abilities, your glyphs, or your gear. Say this, the gear is the best. You get the biggest buffs, the biggest impact on your stats is going to be through your gear. But the problem with the gear is it's not exactly easy to farm, especially early game. If we go ahead and we take a look at the dungeons we have for our gear, these are kind of very lackluster, to say the least, because you get really good gear just from playing the adventure mode, just from completing normal, completing hard and mythic. In fact, you get like a lot of 5-star legendary gear. And if you kind of go through here and you take a look at it, you're like, all right, well, to get like 5-star legendary gear, I mean, you gotta potentially, I mean, these are gambles between 4 stars and 5 stars, but if you want to take a look at it, you don't have a guaranteed 5-star legendary until stage 11, stage 12. To get to that point, your characters are already going to have to be ridiculously strong. So I actually recommend that you don't focus on farming gear, especially early on. I think gear should be the last thing you should worry about, like going through and farming these gear dungeons, just because they're not really that great when you can bang out a lot more value through the adventure mode, right? You can not only get really good gear, but you'll also be getting glyphs and you'll also be getting XP. Now, the next two that we're going to talk about is glyph and ability. Out of these two, I would say your number one thing you should focus on is maxing out your hero skills. So pretty much ability. The only downside to this is out of abilities and glyphs, it is definitely a lot harder to level up a hero's skills than it is to collect the glyphs. The glyphs are fairly easy once you have a really solid team built. It's these dungeons to get the elemental crystals to power up your hero skills that can be tougher and very time consuming, because it's just how it is. But this is definitely your number one priority. I suggest maxing out your hero's skills first, then you could worry about glyphs, and then finally gear. But again, you're going to get really good gear just from adventure mode. What I mean by worrying about gear is I mean like trying to get like the perfect rolls on your gear. This is like an end game thing where you're like, all right, I want to get literally the best boots that I can, and you kind of just grind so that you get like the perfect secondary substats. Like, you shouldn't be worrying about that early on. We take a look at the glyph bonuses right now. I know I have Val only on level 3, but you'll see the bonuses right now are pretty lackluster, to say the least, like 132, 135, decent health. A lot of these are specific, so like upgrading this will only give me crit rate plus 3%, and then if I do this one, I'll get attack plus 60, resistance plus 1. While gear, if you look at one piece of gear, you've got 4 different stats on it for your secondaries. Of course, it depends on the rarity, your star level, and your set bonus, but you just get so much more benefits from your gear as opposed to anything else. Like if I go to common difficulty and we go all the way to chapter 10, which I'm about to finish, chapter 10, mission 8, look at this, your first clear, you're getting 5-star gear. Like, look at this. This is 4 pieces of 5-star gear. Like, this is absolutely amazing. So that's why I said you don't really need to farm those equipment dungeons early on. Those are for end games. I would only do the equipment dungeons for quests. And if you look at mine, that's basically what I did, like to some of the higher stages, just because I had quests that were like, oh, get to stage 5 and the Ash one. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed the video. Stay happy, stay safe, peace.